2020 Olympics have been completely different because of COVID and the regulations that have come forward. I have got screeds and screeds and screeds of emails about regulations. I've got, I think we're up to about 7 apps on our phone that we have to download so that, you know, we can do health checks, we can do, there's SOS things, there's emergency contacts, there's some little app you have to have so they know where you are at all times, all those sorts of things which you just don't get with other events, and you've certainly never had with other Olympics. And these Olympics are going to be very, very different to a normal Olympics because of COVID restrictions. Yeah, the crowd restrictions at this Olympics are going to be very, very different to previous ones. Even now, it's not 100% confirmed as to whether we'll even have crowds. There will certainly be no international guests, no international crowd. So if we have any crowd, it will be domestic only. So purely locals who love badminton in Japan, so that won't be a problem. But you'll lose a little bit of the atmosphere, you know, you'll lose the Danish people in the crowd screaming, you'll lose the Indonesians, you'll lose the Malaysians, all those sort of people who just add that extra layer of excitement as a crowd. Which is, it's really sad really, that it can't happen that way, but you know, but as I say, we don't even know if we're going to be allowed to even have that domestic crowd at this stage. So, COVID restrictions for the Olympics, right, wow. Obviously masks at all times, 2 metres apart from everybody, where we can. No shaking hands on courts, it's all elbow bumping or bowing or whatever you wish to do. Extra restrictions, like there's a whole raft of restrictions been put in by the Japanese government. So, pre-departure, 2 COVID tests before we go, one at 96 hours, one at 72 hours. On arrival, COVID test before we leave the airport. We're not allowed out of the airport until we receive a negative COVID test. Not quite sure what happens if you get a positive one at the airport. I guess they turn around and send you home. We'll be restricted to our hotels. So we will go from our hotel to the venue, back to the hotel. All our meals are eaten in the hotels. There's no going out wandering the streets. There's no having a look in the local shops, anything like that. As I say, we have to take temperatures 14 days prior to going and register those through the health app. There's just a whole lot of masses of different regulations. And now there's another one that if you're from certain countries, you have extra COVID tests. So New Zealand's lucky, we're not in that. But if, for example, if you're from India, they're one I think of about 7 countries, you have to have a COVID test every day for 7 days before you go. And England, I think it's 3 days. So every day there's a new regulation or a new requirement or whatever, and we just have to keep on top of them all the time. I've just received overnight a 21-page dissertation, if you like, on different things that we have to do. So yeah, we have to be on top of those and make sure that all our other officials are also adhering to all those regulations.